Hello, today we're going to look at what happened to the economy in 2007 that caused such a big mess for everyone with Legos. Well, people and financial institutions like banks are always trying to make more money. They want to do it safely, but they especially want to make more of it. So, what happened before 2007? Well, the last time the economy just went berserk was the dot-com bust, around the time the internet was getting big. People just threw money at anything that had .com in the name. Toys.com, pets.com, any random stuff.com. People and banks just threw money at it and figured they'd be rich later. Well, it turned out that most of those didn't work out, so everyone lost a fortune. So the next time people were looking at what can we spend money in? What can we put our money in that's going to be safe? Well, houses. Houses can't just evaporate. Yeah, houses have been going up in value for decades, and they're never going to be worth nothing because unlike a .com, where you can just lose everything if that company doesn't work out, a house is always valuable. You can always sell it and get your money back. Now, it's not as wild as buying a .com, but after all, if you put $50 in a bank and they put it in a safe, then 10 years later, all you have is that $50. If you instead take your $50 and buy a part of a house, when that house gets more valuable, in a couple years you might get $100. So this created an opportunity for some people who were looking to make money and weren't too picky about how they did it. So they convinced people you should take every dollar you have, or even every dollar you can borrow from somewhere, and buy houses with it. Because if you keep doing that, you get more and more money. What could go wrong? The house is just going to keep going up in value and you get more money. So even if you don't think you can pay it back easily, if you don't have a good job, find a bank, find somebody who will loan you money and buy houses with it. Everybody's going to be rich. And it didn't even matter if a house was not very big, not very nice, not in a good neighborhood. Any house, if you own it, it's going to be worth more money next year, and you make money off it. So a lot of people were treating houses not as a place to live, but as like money printing machines. My best friends at the time bought a house in a neighborhood that's not very good, and it had a little hole in the floor. But people convinced them that, hey, it's going to go up in value. And when it was time for them to move, they even offered me, would you like to buy this house? You know, it's got a hole in the floor, but it's worth this much now, and it's going to be worth this much in another couple of years. That's what everybody's saying. That's what they told us. And I said, no, not really interested because I don't plan on living here and I don't know what I'm going to do. And eventually, they couldn't pay for the house, and no one bought it at the price it was at. So my good friends lost all the money that they put in the house and all went away. And that's kind of how the whole thing came to an end. Eventually, there came a point where houses were so expensive, even houses that weren't that nice, that you couldn't find people to buy them for any more. And then once the price of the houses stopped going up and up and up, the whole thing came crashing down. So we had unscrupulous people who would sell houses to people knowing that the houses are overvalued, but they were just making their money, so they didn't mind. The authorities in charge were either not paying attention or couldn't figure out what was going on or didn't care. And a lot of regular people who were buying houses or trying to make money with houses got stuck when the whole thing came crashing down. And so that's part of the story about how if too much money is going into something, even if it's houses, eventually it's going to go bad.